I had some water, I had some water. It's really good for me. I had some water. Hello again, team. It's Jess or JashiiCorrin, and welcome back for day 10 of the Month of Planning with Me series. Before we get into filling out my planners for the day though, first for today's tidbit. I figured that today I would show you how I typically go about making my weekly plan with me videos. So for each of the main types of videos I do, so my weekly plan with me's, monthly plan with me's, stuff like that, I've set up a template for myself in my editing software that has all of the bits that I typically need. So my background music, my intro card, and my exit screen. Before I've even started my filming, I'll typically open up my template, save it as a new file, though I forget to do that here, and then start doing a voice recording. This is because the mic attached to my computer is way better than my phone's mic. To make sure that I can easily sync the voice recording to my footage though, I start by clapping 3 times. This just gives me a nice, easy to find marker that I can use to line up my camera footage and my voice recording with. Once I finish my filming, I then stop the voice recording and plug my phone into my computer to transfer the footage. I don't have an overly organized system for this. It is something that I'm working on, but really I just normally drop the footage into the main videos folder on my computer, and then once I've finished my editing, I normally delete those raw footage files, so they don't stay in there for too long. 17 years later, once the file has transferred over, it's then time to bring it into Filmora and start the editing process. Once the footage is in, the first thing I do is go and find those clap markers so that I can line my footage up with my voice recording. The nice part about using a clap is that there's something visual in the footage to tie it to. So I don't just have the little peaks in the sound file, but I also have the visual of the claps as well. Once I'm happy that I have them lined up properly, I then mute the audio from the footage so it's just the better quality sound from my computer mic that will be heard. After this, the majority of my editing is just watching through the footage and cutting out any stuff-ups, or any dead air, or any long pauses. For the little intros that I sometimes have before my title card, I just cut these from the main footage and then shift them to be before the title card. Oftentimes I actually forget to change the text on the title card, but thankfully I do remember to do that here. Depending on the video, sometimes I'll have transitions between different shots in my footage. So for instance, anytime I switch between my journals, I like to do that. Or in my monthly plan with me's when I'm doing a bunch of boring line ruling, I might fade from the first line to the last line. The transitions I use are just part of the software, so nothing fancy on my part. Along with transitions, sometimes I'll have sections of my footage that I want to time-lapse. When I get to one of those sections, I just have to cut it from the main footage, delete the voice recording. Typically there's not anything special in those sections that I want to save, other than a lot of me humming to myself and rambling. And then what I'll do is I'll speed the footage up. This is really simple in my editing software. You just double click on it and tell it how much you want to speed it up by. For most of my time-lapse sections, I speed the footage up 10 times, so it's going 10 times faster than real life. Most of my editing is, as I said, just cutting out the pieces I don't want, transitioning between different pieces of footage where appropriate, and time-lapsing the longer sections of my footage. Not necessarily in that order. Something I have been asked about before though is my end screen. For this one, I have a picture file that I have saved in each of my video templates, and it stays on screen for the 20 seconds at the end of every video. To make my video appear in the corner of this though, what I do is add the footage to what I'm going to call an overlay track. I have no idea what it's actually called. And then I trim it to have roughly the last 30 or so seconds. The footage you put in this track sits over the top of the footage in the main track, And in the overlay track, it can also be resized, so I can resize the footage to fit over the pink box that I have in my picture. That pink box is there so that I get my footage to be the right size on every video. And then it's just the same as before, lining up the voice recording footage with this footage, trimming out the parts that I don't want, and making sure I have the entire of that 20 seconds filled. Once I'm happy with all of the trimmings and transitions and time-lapsing, in my weekly Plan With Me videos in particular, it's then time to do my voiceovers. Sometimes I'll type out the things that I want to say into a Word document and try and read off that, and sometimes I'll just say the same thing over and over until I get it the way I want it. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, I'm not gonna lie about that. Once the voice recording is done though, it's just the same thing that I had with the video footage. So trimming out all of the dead air and stuff-ups and parts I don't want. For the 2 weeklies that I've drawn out today, the first one on the left-hand side took about 10 minutes from first touch of the pen to final touch. Into final touch. Whereas the one on the right, or the second one, took about 12 minutes. Obviously what I've done here is there's not a lot of decoration. Here is relatively basic. There's not a lot of decoration other than it's relatively basic. There's not a lot of decoration. Obviously what I've done here is relatively basic. There's not a lot of decoration other than the little flags and the washi tape. But of course, if you had a bit of extra time, you could make this a little more decorative. Once all the voice recording is done, and I've hopefully checked the video as a whole, sometimes I get lazy and don't do that, sometimes with embarrassing consequences. But after it's all finished, it's then time to export the video so that I can upload it to YouTube. The other part that I need though is my thumbnail. For this, I again have a template, this time in Photoshop, that I can just add the background picture into, edit the text, and then export as a picture file. To keep my thumbnails consistent for each type of video I do, I have reference images in there that I can use for sizing, and I also have all of my thumbnail text saved into labeled folders. This makes the process of making my thumbnails a lot more painless. Hopefully you found that interesting. If you guys have any questions about my overall process for making videos, please do let me know. But for now, on to writing today's checklist. I just got so used to writing 0 that I completely forgot that it's the 10th. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna fit the 1 in there, that will look hideous. So, there we go, we're just gonna have triple digits now. Well, for Friday. Far out. In this little note here, I'm going to write about Vogel and mine's date night that we're having tonight, but hasn't happened yet, so I'm going to write about that tomorrow. Going back to my monthly pages. So yesterday I did fill out the box that was here for Thursday the 2nd because its blankness was bothering me. And now it's time to fill in the 9th. Also, happy Good Friday, everybody. Just a note about doing schoolwork and getting more of my file sorting done. For my mood. Yesterday was probably closer to this region. Just if it isn't already obvious, for my moods, I've got obviously the best and the worst. And then these three here are still like happy or content moods, whereas these two are the ones where I was not feeling very well. Whether that be because I was angry or upset or sick or whatever else. For gratitude. Yesterday I was grateful for our essential workers. And if that's anybody watching, thank you very much for all you're doing right now. Flipping over, productivity. So I did some general housework, we did the meal planning, I did the filming and editing of my weekly Plan With Me video, replied to some YouTube comments, and then a bunch of schoolwork, so making content and admin. Habits and steps. So yes, I did actually get some water in yesterday, which was very nice. Maybe I'll try and do the same again today. Nothing to check off here, I believe. Oh no, wait, I did upload the grades to Spider. So that's done now. And meal logging. And now it's over to my PowerSheets. So yesterday I did not spend unnecessarily. I didn't really have any active leisure time. I did do my morning work. And I got through the decluttering of my Year 11 Phys Chem folder. Progress! Looking very good. I don't know if I'm going to be making any progress on these in the next couple of days when I get into the kind of crunch time of making sure my stuff is prepared for term 2. Well, I mean, outside of that one, which is kind of obvious. But we'll see how it goes. Over to my teacher planner now. Again, I know it's not nicely in shot and I do apologize for that, but I wanted to show you guys what I've been doing in here to get ready for term 2. So in my teacher planner, anytime we have holidays, I use this gold washi tape. Of course, all of this washi tape was down here because this is when the holidays were going to be. So I had to move all of them back 2 weeks. Not a super fun time. But I managed to do it with minimal, I don't know, disfiguration of my planner, so that's pretty good. This little thing down here is just like a "are you ready" kind of checklist. So I've crossed out all the days we don't have school, and for the days that we do, I'll just put a little tick in the box when that day is ready to go. And by that I mean all the materials are ready, I've put everything up online where it needs to be, all of that kind of stuff. I haven't fixed this second week of the holidays yet. I don't even know if I'm going to bother, honestly. This was a lot of effort. Whole lot of whiteout for not even necessarily great results. For week 1 though, I do want to go in and write down what I'm thinking of doing for each of these periods. And I'm going to do the smart thing, and I'm going to use my friction pen, which means I can erase it if I need to. For the non-contact periods and this study period, I'm not going to fill anything in because I want to see what comes up and then dedicate that time to things that need to be done. That's where we're going to leave it for today, but thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, please do make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you wanted to see more from me, feel free to go check out one of my other videos. Until next time, bye!